Welcome back to the other side. This is episode 3, and for episode 3 we have a very special guest.
Oh.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Saumya, and what am I? I don't really have any accomplishments.
Fine. No,
I'm just Saumya.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Here I was thinking that you're gonna have really blue hair, and I'm disappointed.
No, dude, honestly.
Did you cut your hair?
I'm so disappointed.
Did you cut
as well.
it out? Did you cut it?
No, so basically I cut it and I told the guy I want it to be blue, and he's like, it's gonna be electric blue. So I'm like, sick. And then it just didn't end up being electric blue.
It was just the tips.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna get
no, it's actually
everything.
from midway, but it's just you can't see it. But he told me that it's gonna get bluer as I wash it, so let's see.
It looks grey.
Just listen. Let's just be positive, okay? It's gonna be blue. It's gonna be blue.
It was actually because you put it on your Insta story, the blue hair, and I was like, okay, that's it's probably all blue.
So in the sun, it's way more bluer. But yeah, I know it's a bit I was like, what the fuck? But can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Anyways, you're on the show because you wanted to talk about something very interesting, and I think I'm a perfect example for that. So, what was your topic that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So we were talking on Instagram, and we were just talking about how people of our age, millennials in general, just don't know shit about what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And why.
Okay.
And I was just I've been thinking about it a lot because I got into politics in general or just world issues a year ago.
Yeah.
And I feel I know nothing, but around my peers I know the most.
That's weird.
Yeah, because if you start looking into what's happening, when I started reading up about just in general the world, I'm shit, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But then around people of our age and stuff, I know so much more than they do, and I'm I know more than you and I know nothing.
Why did you get into it? Or what made you get into it, actually, first of all?
Well, because of uni, because I'm doing IR, right? I'm doing international relations.
Yeah.
So my first 2 years was a lot about the history.
Yeah.
But this year, they really started to focus on current affairs. And that's when I really started getting into it, and I realized I really do have
a thing for it, right?
Yeah. I
it.
really enjoy reading about it and getting to know. And then I just started going above and beyond my course to make an effort to consciously know what's happening around the world. And that's how I got into it. But yeah.
Why? Okay, so now why do you think that people just don't know?
I think there's many reasons. I think we're in a place where we're functioning with that ideology of ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I'd rather just not know, because if I don't know, then I don't have to do anything about it.
Right.
Because if you know, there's no way you cannot do anything about it. If you start to read about what's happening in the world, you'll just want to do something about it because it's it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But people just don't want to know. And also, I think we're relying on Instagram as our newspaper.
Just social media in general.
Yeah. Instagram and Facebook is the new newspaper.
And they're not reliable.
Not at all. They're their Instagrams.
It's 50-50.
Not even.
Really?
Because Instagram's narrative is based on it's very influenced by the Western media.
Yeah.
So we're only learning about what's relevant in the
to
West.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not gonna cover issues about the developing countries because they don't give a shit. And we're not gonna learn about it because we rely on them to give us our news.
Yeah.
So we're so much more focused about the American elections, and no one cares about what's happening for around Africa.
Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know. I think, for me, okay, I kind of keep up to date with what's happening around the world, but it's really difficult. First of all, it's you get so much news from everywhere. It's a bombardment. I try to stay away from social media for news because I also feel it's very biased in terms of point of view sake.
Yeah.
Some of them are very pro this or pro that, and it's all one-sided. You don't get two sides of an argument, and I don't think that's very.
I mean, if you're looking for news outside the West, you have to look for it yourself.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get on social media.
Okay, tell me one thing, maybe one random
example
event that happened, and nobody knows about it. Besides the Sudan thing, because not a lot of people know.
Yeah, the Sudan thing's a whole different issue. That was a success story.
Yeah.
But there's stuff happening that all around that no one's talking about.
Okay, give me one example.
Libya.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So just recently, there was it was all over Instagram about one of these senators in America who's refusing reparations for the slaves.
Yeah.
For the slave trade, and people are like so focused now going on about it. I'm like, cool, but you do know that slave trade is still happening today in Libya as we speak. You're talking about reparations of shit that happened like years ago, and yes, it's relevant, I get it, but in your own continent, slave trade is still a thing.
Right.
No one's saying shit about that.
Right.
But we're talking about some random senator who said he's going to give reparations to slaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're so influenced on their news and their issues,
what they say,
and we don't even know what's going on in our own home.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true. There's also one thing when we were talking, you said that you wanted to talk about how like Gaddafi could have made this like Africa fucking rich as shit.
Oh yeah, I'm so passionate about Gaddafi.
Why?
No, like, he is a flawed human being. Like, I'm not even denying it.
But like you were passionate about like the wrong shit that he did.
Yeah, I was Or
not the wrong shit, but like.
I feel like the West fucked him up. And
wait, really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Like, they got Gaddafi killed.
Right.
Because Gaddafi was
not giving them oil.
Yeah, and he was going towards a one Africa. He wanted to create the United States of Africa.
Right.
And he didn't want Africa to rely on the West.
Right.
For like their economy.
Yeah.
And so he began to ask the states to pay him in gold instead of currency, and that was going to be really expensive for America. So they had to get rid of him one way or the other, and then they found an excuse for the revolution happening
because he's a dictator and blah blah blah.
And then they send in NATO, which never happens. Like, they mobilized NATO.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think I think that a United States of Africa with like.
It's idealistic.
It's I don't think it's not even idealistic, but it's like I don't think that's a good idea either way, because there's a lot of stuff that African countries in general rely on other people for.
But we're getting ripped off at the same time.
We'll be getting ripped off.
I mean, look at Kenya now. We're like indebted to China. We're literally
actually. I thought those were like grants. You know, you don't have to pay them back and shit.
No. we are in debt.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like, look at Sri Lanka.
What about Sri Lanka?
So
the
Colombo
right.
is like become so developed. It's a beautiful city, right? It's doing so well. But it owes everything to China.
Okay.
And like that's what's happening all around Africa, all around Asia. And if Gaddafi's United States of Africa would have worked, we wouldn't need that. We wouldn't need China to pay shit for us.
Interesting.
It's not about like he wasn't talking about like his just thing was he does not want to rely on the West for resources and money when we have enough resources to support ourselves.
Right.
We need to be able to use what we have.
Yeah.
Then borrow if we need be. But what we were doing is borrowing first.
But the thing is, do we have enough technology, or do we have enough like technology to get the resources?
Yeah, we do.
Do we actually?
Kenya was the first country to introduce e-money.
Well, yes, that's true. I'm not gonna take that away from them.
So in Libya, right?
There's still like a lot more.
When Libya found oil,
yeah,
they had the resources to remove the oil and everything.
Yeah.
The second that US and UK found out that Libya has oil, they came in and put in their bases. And that time Gaddafi wasn't there. It was some random dictator whose honesty. Was he a dictator? He was a dictator who was like literally working for the West anyway. So he gave them free reign to come and like open their bases over there.
Okay.
And they opened their bases and they started removing oil. And then Gaddafi came and he's like, you're not going to keep doing this to us. Like, we're going to take control of our oil. And within like a decade, he took like 51% shares and he nationalized all of the resources, like the oil resources. It
kind of like reminds me of what's happening in Venezuela though. Where the guy is like, nah. He's like chilling, everyone's like losing their minds because there's so much inflation and poverty.
Yeah.
And then but he controls like everything. He controls all the oil and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe Libya could have gone there? It's a possibility though.
No, see, Libyan people weren't happy with Gaddafi at that time as well because he was becoming kind of brutal. Like he wasn't the best guy.
Yeah.
And towards the end especially. but they were having their own revolution against him.
Right.
The way Sudan had against Bashir.
Yeah.
And Sudan was left alone. No one intervened there.
Yeah.
And they were able to, like, yes, it was flawed and it's not a perfect, like, success story.
Yeah.
But they were able to come to a conclusion by themselves and reach a compromise and, like,
but
move
I think
forward.
that, like, everything that happened stemmed from Libya.
So,
because after Gaddafi was thrown, all these people, all, like, the northeastern countries in Africa started, like, doing their own.
No, that Arab Spring was before Gaddafi.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
Wait, then there was, like, there was an event that triggered everything.
So Egypt was it? Yeah, Egypt started having their protests against what's his name, Husseini.
Yeah.
Right, and that was before Gaddafi. And then when they started doing that, it started, like, creating an environment within Libya for the people to, like, speak against Gaddafi, the ones who didn't support him. And then they started revolting against him, and the revolution grew against Gaddafi. And there was an opposition against Gaddafi, and there was Gaddafi's supporters. And then at that time, the US and the UK saw an opportunity, and they started backing up the opposition.
The revolutionaries.
Yeah, and they sent in their forces, they sent in NATO forces to, like, remove Gaddafi. And if US and UK didn't intervene, they could have sorted out by themselves the way Sudan has. They would have reached some conclusion. It wouldn't have been as brutal
or violent
as it was.
Yeah.
There was no need for them to intervene, and they wouldn't have if there wasn't oil. The only reason they intervened was because they saw an opportunity.
Okay. To get stinking rich.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like, I was speaking to, like, a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he was Libyan, and he was telling me how during Gaddafi's times, 1 Libyan dinara was equaled, for 1 Libyan dinara equaled $4.
That's actually insane.
Yeah. After Gaddafi, like, look at the exchange rate now, it's fucked up. So he was telling me, like, his family had money, and as soon as Gaddafi was gone, they lost all their money. And that's a rich family. So imagine the poor people.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know, some things, like, do really bother me, but the problem is,
so, like, stuff like this, people don't know.
How do you get your stuff? How do you know what's going on everywhere?
You have to make an effort. You have to make a conscious effort.
Right.
To, like, actually Google. Because these, like, BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, they are covering them. They just wouldn't put them on their mainstream Instagram sites because it's not sensational enough.
Right.
So there will be news articles about them. They just wouldn't be shared on your Instagram.
They'll be hidden.
Yeah, they'll just be for, like, their online forums or whatever.
Okay.
They wouldn't be on their Instagrams, like, actively talking about it unless it becomes a news story like Sudan's did.
Right.
But you have to make an effort to Google.
Okay.
Because, like, it would be like how our parents would read the newspaper every day.
Mm-hmm.
Read online newspapers. People don't do that anymore.
Read online newspapers?
Yeah.
People don't do that? I thought they would do that more.
No one reads a newspaper.
Okay, well, yeah, no one
like
reads.
Our peers?
Okay, that's true.
Who reads a newspaper? Like, I don't know one person who does. But I rely on Twitter a lot as well. Like during...
Do you still use that account? Is that the account that you used to...
Listen, it's not advertiser account. It's just my own research.
Is that the account that
you... But, like, if... Like, you know how you can change your country?
Yeah.
And then see the trends?
The trends, yeah.
Right, so I'll, like, change my country to, like, whatever country I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And then follow the trends. And then, like, if I see something interesting, then I'll Google about it and find out more. Although that's, like, kind of long.
That's really long.
People don't have time for it, but, like, I feel like that's the way to get the most accurate and, like, on time news.
Yeah, because, like, Twitter is instant.
Live, right?
Yeah, Twitter is insane when it comes to that.
Yeah, so I feel like Twitter is a really good platform, but, yeah, it takes effort. But, like, why not? If we're spending so much time learning about American and their news, why can't we just, like...
their news.
Like, literally, like, it blows my mind about how we prioritize their issues, which are relevant in their country, and make it relevant to us.
I think the one that hits home the most is when the whole Alabama thing happened, and then you put on your story that, yeah, it's all cool, but remember that it's still banned here. Like, why are you stressing about America? They'll do whatever they want, but it's like, it's still banned here.
And, like, the thing is, the American people have a voice, and their voice is loud enough. They get heard.
Yeah.
So we don't have to, like, I mean, it's good, like, there's no harm in, like, talking about it and
but let
supporting
them.
But like people over here don't have a voice. Like use your voice for them.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't even know what's going on to even use their voice for it.
That's true. What's the name? What advice would you give to like me, who doesn't really keep up with the news that much? To be honest, you know what? I think I get my news mostly from you only. Like I just look at your story and it's like, okay, this is like the new shit that's happening.
But like I didn't even know, like when I was posting on my on my stories, I was just doing it like very like I wouldn't think about it, right? I would just be like, that's cool, I feel like people should know and just share it.
Yeah.
And then like when I came back this time, like so many people told me like your stories are so cool, we get to know so much, and I was like, shit, like am I annoying people with Instagram?
No,
like have I become that person? Because like I didn't even know that like my stories are like people are actually reading them like and thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I think that's.
And like that stressed me out. So like I stopped posting for a couple of days. I'm like, no man, I don't want to be that person. But then I don't know, because then I started thinking about it. Like when I was posting in the beginning, I wasn't thinking. I was just posting. But now I feel like I'm like overthinking it because I'm like, should people actually reading my shit?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
If you actually give a damn about all these things, then people should read about it, right?
Yeah, and like the more I read about it, like I'll tell people around me, and they're like always like shocked about it, and they want to know more. And I feel like if I can like teach 2 or 3 people about it within my own group,
yeah,
and they have an interest. I mean, people do have an interest. They just need to like have the resource to know about it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Not even the resource, like even the time, or.
It's not time. People have time.
Really?
Time is not an excuse. People have so much time.
I mean, if you want to really do like, you know, change the trends to each country on Twitter, that's like
don't do that. That's what I do. But it's a simple Google search, honestly.
That's true. But
like I'm sure people have heard about the slave trade in Libya, right?
Right.
Like you've probably seen it here and there around social media and news,
but
whatever.
you just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, but you should make an effort after that to be like, what is actually happening? Let me just do a quick Google check and see what, like, is this even true? And if it's true, what is like the scale of it?
Right. Just don't ignore it.
Yeah. Like make a conscious effort.
That's fair. Or you can just get your news from her.
Oh no! Please don't pressure me like that.
I don't see what's wrong with that. I seriously don't see what's wrong with that. I think it's a good thing.
Because like I'm also really biased, right? I have my own biases.
Right.
So I mean, you can get to know about it from me, but do your own research after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like get the base from you, and then do your own shit after that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do your own research after that.
But like, see how Sudan became a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the only reason Sudan became and I feel like it did, like the social media that like trend that happened in Sudan really did help the success of it. Like I'd like to believe that.
Yeah.
Because it put Sudan on like a spotlight.
Right.
Where the military leaders were like, we need to think 100 times before we use violence against these people now.
But the thing is like with Sudan, it was like a very special case because they didn't have a way to communicate to anyone.
No, so Sudan was a special case because before the internet was gone,
right,
the Sudanese youth were really active on social media, and they made sure that message got across.
Yeah.
So before the internet blackout even happened, when they first ousted Bashir, like people really knew it happened because they were so active on social media with the viral videos they had of like people singing and stuff. They had already mobilized like a social media campaign going on because the youth is so good at it.
Yeah.
And then once the social media blackout happened, the Sudanese living outside Sudan were really good.
Okay.
At like promoting that.
Right.
So like a few like people became like icons of the whole
revolution.
Yeah. And these were Sudanese people living in the States or wherever.
Yeah.
And Sudanese people around the world were able to mobilize it and let the world know, and that's why it really worked, because the country's people were willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
But like in Libya, like the Libyans aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
Because they probably don't even have I don't even know what the situation over there is right now because no one's covering it.
Right.
Like on a day-to-day, who even knows what's going on in Libya?
No one.
Yeah. So like, they're not talking about it. That doesn't mean that we have to ignore it. Doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah. But how do you then, because no one's talking about it, how do you get... See, that's a difficult part.
Yeah. But that's why you have to talk about. Like, we know stuff's happening. We know shit's going down. Like, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's
at least make some noise about it so that
Yeah.
someone goes down there and checks what's going on.
If everyone if the way everyone talked about Sudan, if everyone talked about Libya, then people, like the people who are in the leadership positions in Libya right now will have to think 100 times before they make dumb moves, because they know that the country's in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
that makes sense.
It's just putting that country and letting the people, like the people in charge, know that whatever you do are watching you. And if you do something stupid, we're gonna make noise.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, if it's even gonna work or not, but just them knowing that the world's eyes on them is enough for them to, like, be careful.
Do you think that Sudan was lucky? Because the people outside, the Sudanese outside Sudan, were so, like, were that influential? For sure.
Like, imagine if no one talked about it. It would be I feel like way more violent.
It'd be buried, like like maybe 2 days after
and
the Black
there wouldn't be
they
wouldn't have this compromise happening in the end.
Yeah.
I feel like the only reason that
it's got to here.
Yeah, was because they knew the world's watching.
Yeah.
They had to, like, they knew they couldn't keep this going on. Around the world, people were like asking for the internet to come back for them.
Because, like, think about it, if something like this happened here, and we're not in Kenya, because we're like, you're in Malaysia, I'm in the US, and then we just don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get buried underneath.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
Yeah, I think they were lucky in the way that people who were outside became really influential and became really loud.
They were able to, like keep it going.
Yeah.
They didn't let it die down.
I think that's what people
like,
need to do
I was
now.
just reading this article about how, like, the people, like the Sudanese people, don't even know, like, people around the world change their profile pictures to blue. They had no idea. They don't even know what the blue meant.
Yeah.
But, like...
Okay, what did the blue mean for some people who don't know?
It was after this artist called Matar, I think. And it was his favorite color, and he was killed during the protests.
Okay. The more you know.
Yeah.
The more you know. So, yeah, they probably just thought that this was like some miracle or some shit like that.
Yeah.
When they're like,
I'm sure it was like nice for them to know as well, like, that the world supported them, you know.
Yeah. No, like, even before that, maybe when they were like, oh, here's your internet, take it back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're probably like, holy fuck,
why is this happening? Like, why?
Yeah, that makes, I don't know, I would probably be like, holy shit, like, what's going on?
And I feel like that needs to happen for all the shit happening around the world.
Right. What's the worst thing that you've seen and no one's like
right now? Honestly, I think it's Libya. Like,
right.
Slave trade, dude.
Yeah, that's
slave
pretty high
fucking
up there.
trade.
Yeah, that's pretty high up there.
I mean, and it's like if I show you the pictures, you'll just be like, what the fuck?
No, I don't. I probably don't.
Like, that's why I've never posted about that on my Instagram specifically, because it's really gory.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if I want to, like, because I feel like that.
Maybe not pictures, but like, just words.
Yeah.
But sometimes no one reads to those, to be honest.
I don't know.
That's what
I'm so
sometimes
touchy
when
about that.
Sometimes when I see like an entire, like, a wall of text, right? I'll read the first 2 lines, and if it's not like worth my time,
like, the
I'll
thing
just
with
skip
posting
it.
on Instagram is I don't find the point of posting if there's nothing that can be done about it.
Yeah.
And like with Sudan, it was a whole movement. So, like, you know, like, the more people who post, the bigger the movement grows. There's no movement for Libya right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm in a position where I can start a movement.
I mean, you can.
No.
No, I'm serious. Like, you can tell. I mean,
I can tell
like 5 people.
Followers, yeah.
You can tell 5 people.
But
5 of your friends.
I don't want to post just for the sake of posting.
Right.
Like, there needs to be a reason behind my posting. Like, I don't want to post just be like, oh, look, I know shit and you don't know shit. Here's what's happening.
No.
It's like, yeah, I can tell people what's happening, but I don't know. I feel like there needs to be an agenda behind it. There needs to be,
right,
like,
the agenda is to stop it,
because then,
right?
like, what if people message me and be like, okay, cool, what do we do now? And I have no answers.
So here's what you do. You Google search. What the fuck can we do for Libya?
Yeah.
What can we do?
And that's the thing, no one's saying shit about Libya.
That's interesting. Really, no one's doing it. There's no, like, GoFundMe or anything.
Not that I've seen. But who are you funding? People don't even know. There's like...
That's true. Like, that Sudan New project was like bullshit.
Who are you funding?
Right.
Like, Libya is so complicated. Like, even understanding what's happening in that country right now is a whole...
It takes a while.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Hopefully, it gains some traction.
I don't think it will.
Wait, really?
what, like, why would
I don't know. I don't know.
It's been going on for years. It's all getting traction.
Maybe after some random person on the internet like watches this and be like...
some famous person needs to talk about it, and then it needs to become a...
Alright, so, dear famous person, if you're watching this, please make...
do something with your fame.
Yeah, do something with your fame, or, like, make shit happen.
But, like, that's my point. There's so much happening, right? If, like, every person in Africa, or in Kenya even, or, like, people our age, knew what I know about Libya, like, no one would, like, not everyone would shut up.
Right.
They would, like, say something.
Yeah.
I'm shutting up right now because I feel like I'm the only one who knows about it, and, like,
I don't think you should shut up, though.
I mean, like, you know what I mean, right? I just feel like... I don't know how to explain it.
You feel like it's to
no point.
What?
Yeah.
It's to no point?
Yeah.
No. I still think... Because, think about it, right? Every time we went to... Did you go for MUN?
Yeah.
Okay. Every time we went for MUN, the number one reason why people put fucking resolutions on the table was to raise awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing that, I think that's helping in a way.
Yeah. No,
even if it's to 5 people.
Yeah.
Those 5 people will tell other 5 people. Now you have 25 people.
Yeah.
Behind you, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how it should start.
I'll post about it today. Let's see where it gets me.
You don't have to post,
my thing is, like, whenever I
anything.
post something, like, there needs to be something people can do about it, and that I just don't know what people can do about it. Like, I just want to, like, make people read it and get them depressed, you know?
No, I'm not saying... No, it's
like,
it's not that. It's like, maybe...
When I read about it, I went through this whole phase of, like, oh my god, like, I was in depression. Well, not actual depression, but, like, I had, like, literally for, like, 3 days, I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, is this real? And, like, I literally had to, like, double check, triple check. I'm like, this can't be real.
Right.
Because it's fucked up. It's bad.
But, maybe... raising awareness and starting to talk about...
raising awareness?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, but like, people who will not watch this, they will read your story.
Yeah, Google about Libya, guys.
And then maybe they will start talking about it. And then once enough people start talking about it, that's when something can be done, right?
Yeah.
Someone will just step up and be like, alright, here.
Yeah, someone needs to do something. I'll post about it.
So yeah, I think... that's enough for this. Yeah. All right, now we're going into a little bit more I wouldn't say would you place conspiracy theories as controversial?
Yeah.
You would?
Some of them.
Okay, well, this
depends what it is.
Okay. So here I have a conspiracy theory, and it's not mine, but it's someone that I stole off Reddit, and I'll post a link in the description.
Okay.
And here's the thing, all right? So he says, God damn it. Well, this is awkward.
Great stuff of it.
This is awkward. Why is it not working? Oh, here we go. All right. So he says that there's 2 ships. Okay. The RMS Olympic and the RMS Titanic.
Okay.
The Titanic, as we all know, drowned. The conspiracy theory is that it wasn't the RMS Titanic that drowned, but it was the RMS Olympic that drowned.
Okay.
You following me, right? Okay. Now, the reason why someone says this is because... So, RMS Olympic was the older one. It came before Titanic. And when it was in service, it had many crashes. Okay. And during its service, the RMS Titanic was being built as well. Okay. So, when the crash happened, like when the first crash happened, they had to scrap parts from the Titanic to the Olympic. You're following me, right? Okay. Now, the company that was building these 2 ships thought that the RMS Olympic was a money hoarder. Like, it was just eating up money because it was really unreliable and all that shit. So now, they hatched a plan that once the Titanic is done, they will actually set the Olympic, they'll switch the letters, and then they'll let the Olympic go. And then their original plan was not to obviously kill all those people, but like something small to happen. Yeah. And like then they can scrap the entire boat once it comes back. But they didn't plan that the iceberg would hit and all that stuff. Okay? Now here's the wild part. This guy linked 4 pictures on his post, and it shows the RMS Olympic when it was being built and then it shows the RMS Titanic when it was, like, first when it went for its maiden voyage, and it also showed the RMS Titanic when it was being built, and then it showed the RMS Olympic after the Titanic had sunk. So you catch me, like, you're following the timeline? Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. So here's picture 1. Right. So this is picture 1. I'll put it somewhere here. Okay, so if you look,
this Olympic.
This is Olympic. This is RMS Olympic, the first one.
Okay.
If you look at this white part, and you see these portholes, the last 5 is like 2, 1, 2, 1. Right here.
Where? What am I looking at?
These
okay, 1,
these
2,
dots.
1.
2 together and then 1 and 2 and then 1.
All right.
All right. Now this is the Titanic when it was being built. All right. So how it same. It's just single. Now it's like single. They're even.
But is that the same part of the ship?
Yeah.
Isn't that like the back and that's the front?
No, this is the front. This is the front. Well, this is a different picture, but this is the front. And this is the front.
Okay.
This is the front.
All right.
Okay. So if you look at this is another picture. So, if you look at the white again, they're evenly spaced out.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is when the Titanic was being built.
Okay.
Now I'll show you a picture of when the Titanic was set when it went on its first voyage. It's this. Is it this?
No, this is the photo you showed us.
No.
This is the Olympic.
So it's this one.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Oh fuck.
And it's like you can read Titanic, like barely hear Titanic.
Okay, wait a minute. I need to see the Titanic one first again.
Okay, so when it was being constructed. Yeah. Okay. So was it this one? No, this one. They're all evenly spaced out.
Oh shit.
and here you have them like this.
Okay.
Okay? Now you take a look at the RMS Olympic in New York after the Titanic had crashed.
Okay.
Okay? And this is the picture.
And it's evenly spaced out.
And they're all evenly spaced out.
That's interesting.
And the reason is he said...
Wait, so this became the Titanic.
This is the Titanic.
And it became the Olympic.
And it became the Olympic once the Titanic crashed. The Titanic crashed.
But why did because the Olympic was really old.
It was really old and it was it was getting damaged quickly.
So can't they just get rid of it? Like, why do they have to crash it and shit?
Because then you get insurance money.
Alright, true.
So when the Titanic crashed, they got insured like £1 million in insurance money.
Damn, the whole movie was a lie.
Well,
was it supposed to be the Olympic, not the Titanic?
So that's what they're saying. Like the theory is that this was the one that crashed was the Olympic.
So was the crash premeditated then?
No. So they thought they would just do something small with it, like make a scratch and make it it wouldn't work now, so we have to scrap it and get our insurance money. They probably were too confident and I don't know.
That's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
That's nuts. I was like, what the fuck?
That's weird.
But
I'm not surprised though if it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of shady shit that happens, especially when it comes to people's lives.
Especially when it comes to States.
No, this was in the UK, by the way.
Oh shit, never mind. But still, the West.
Yeah, so pretty insane.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'll link all those 4 pictures up here and then I'll put them.
That's interesting. The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know, right? But it's a theory. Nobody knows. And he's like,
it's pretty solid though with the pictures.
It is pretty solid with the pictures and shit. Like, what the fuck? It's almost irrefutable evidence.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the angle or something.
No.
Maybe it's the other side of the ship.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you would want to have it symmetrical, right?
Yeah. True.
Like, what kind of ship builder?
Interesting. But the real conspiracy theory is, could Jack fit in the fucking boat?
He probably would have. But why didn't she let him in?
I don't know.
And then after that, during the entire movie, she's kind of like a fucking... Yeah. She's like, I don't know.
You made that happen. Loser.
So yeah. If you really think that this is legit, let me know. I believe in it now. I didn't think this was because he put a wall.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it's true.
Yeah.
But also why? Why go through all that effort of
sinking the entire ship? Well, like I said, that wasn't their.
No, of like even like if they wanted to get the insurance money, why did they have to like change the name? They could just made the original like.
Well, I think they wanted to do it on the trip.
Mm.
That's how they substituted the names.
Okay. Right.
And then after like the Titanic.
But then I feel
sank,
like it would be much deeper than.
What?
I feel like then they maybe made it sink.
Wait, really?
Yeah, cause like
fuck?
how does that happen by mistake? Like you kind of plan it, but you plan it halfway.
Well, they didn't plan it
Like
halfway.
you plan to have an accident happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Like.
And then you plan to also kill 15,000.
No, that was the accident then. No, because like think about it, right? If you plan an accident,
right?
Like why would you half-ass it? Like
because you don't want to kill people.
How can you like? But then why would that be a mistake? Like how did that become such a big thing?
Maybe that's why they did it. Like they were sailing it in such bad waters because they wanted something to happen, and then voila, the big ass iceberg came and.
No, these people don't care about people's lives. I'm telling you.
15,000 people just because they wanted to cause an accident.
Insurance.
Holy shit! For insurance money.
No, I don't know.
So yeah, and he was like, why would, like, that part wasn't damaged, why would you replace that part out of all parts? It's very iffy.
Weird.
Yeah, very weird. We still have time for yours, by the way.
No.
No?
No.
Nothing can beat this one?
Yeah. No. Also, like, you're really well researched about this, and I'm just like, nah. No.
No, because I took my time, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? You have your topic, and I have my topic, I'll...
So yours is interesting.
Huh?
Yours is interesting. Yours wins.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
just not even do mine.
Alright, next time we'll do
Yeah.
yours. Once you have enough research
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Alright. With that, thank you for listening to The Other Side. See you back next time, same time, same place.
Bye.
Bye.